Hi, you guys. Welcome to episode 1 of Chatting with Coko. I'm Coko, and I wanted to do this because I wanted to get talking with you guys more. So I tell you guys to ask me a question, you guys give me questions, and then I answer them, and then I post them on either my Instagram or my YouTube, depending on, how lengthy the questions might be. So be sure to follow my channel, YouTube channel, Coko and G. We are always looking for new people to join our legendary fam and stuff like that. And we're starting off and we're really excited. So yeah, be sure to do that. Like, share, subscribe to our channel. You can share, my message if it resonates with you and you think that other people should be able to hear it too. I would really appreciate that. I just kind of want to put myself out there and get a little personal with you guys, because I feel like every person's journey or certain things that people say or opinions that people have can really help someone who's going through a similar struggle, or has a friend who's going through a similar struggle, and they might need encouraging words or just knowing that someone is going through the same thing as them. So that's kind of like my purposes of doing this. With that being said, I had posted on my Instagram stories for people to ask me questions, and they did. So thank you for my first couple of participants. I'm so excited to get started. And so one of the questions that I got was from I Love You Trell. Thank you. And she asked, what do you think about getting ready to raise a child in this current climate? And for this episode, as it's being my first episode, I decided to do this question first because I think that it's really important for other people to kind of understand our perspective. And by our, I mean those who are pregnant during this climate. And it kind of gives you a understanding of kind of like how we feel, especially being a first-time mother. So yeah, I'm gonna get into it. When I first found out that I was pregnant, I was so excited. I mean, y'all, I was so juiced. But when I found out, it was like I was 4 weeks and we were just getting ready to start our quarantine and getting off of work and stuff like that. And I wasn't really expected to be pregnant, to be honest. I was really getting ready for the quarantine. You know how people will buy their wines and stuff like that. So I bought hella shit. And I think that's so funny because that day, Greg was like, oh, my bundle of joy's in there while we were sleeping. And I was like, what? So I decided to take a pregnancy test because I'm like, I don't want to, start drinking and doing all this other wild shit. And then it really does turn out like I'm pregnant. I would feel like shit. So I took the test and I'm like, boom, I'm pregnant. I was like, I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with life. So yeah, I think that's so funny to me. Oh my God. So yeah, I didn't know that COVID and Corona was gonna get worse. I was like, okay, it's gonna be maybe a couple weeks to maybe a month or something. It's gonna blow over, because you never really know. I didn't really know what to expect. So I was just like, okay, cool. I was like, I got time to tell my mom because I was gonna go see her, because apparently we were getting ready to go on lockdown by that time. And so my first initial thought was, boom, I'm happy. I'm juiced. I'm so excited. Yeah. But then as things started progressing and, Los Angeles went on lockdown and, people was buying up toilet paper, all the sanitary wipes was gone. And I'm just like, oh, this is mad serious. we really about to be into some stuff. So I started getting a little worried. And so then the emotions of like me being scared and like the emotion of fear kind of came over me, because I was like, I don't know what this is gonna mean. So I had to go to my OGBYN. And I wanted like a midwife, so they set me up with the midwife section of the hospital. And I mean, nobody could go in there. You would have to do it all alone, by yourself. You would get screened. They'll be like, oh, did you witness any coughing, fever, chills, blah, blah, blah. And, you have to go through like a little screen. You got to put hand sanitizer on, and your partner cannot go with you. So it was really like a bummer for me, because as this being my first experience, I really did want my partner to be there with me, but he had to wait outside. And I was so like upset. Like, I was mad upset, because I'm just like, I feel like we both need to be getting this information that the doctors are going to be telling us. And I just felt like it was really important for us kind of like to be doing this together. But that wasn't really necessarily the case. And so I would go to all my doctor's appointments alone. He would wait outside. Like, I had an ultrasound, and that was when I would get pictures and like hear the heartbeat and stuff like that. And he was not able to go in, so like he didn't really get to hear the heartbeat and stuff like that. So it was a pretty like bummy experience. All of the classes were shut down, and just anything that gives you access for being first-time parents or parents in general, like, it was not happening. So you basically go to your appointment and you go home, and you try not to go anywhere. So yeah, I was scared, and I got a little fearful, because I'm just like, how long is this gonna last? Is this gonna be throughout my whole pregnancy? Like, is this gonna be like, even after I have the baby, like, what's going on? So with that unknown, I just kind of like my mind was running like a million miles a minute. Like, I just didn't know. So it was really like, I had to calm myself, and I had to trust in God. I had to trust in the universe. And I would talk to my mom about, some of my concerns, and like my sister. I'll talk to my partner. I'll talk to my sister-in-law. And like, they helped ease kind of like the stress, because like I had support. So I'm very, very thankful for the support that I have. And it was also really cool, because the hospital, they do hook you up with certain type of services. So I was able to have a nurse call my house like every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, just to check on me, to see how I'm doing and how I'm progressing, and like how I can kind of like stay on course with like the diet and just like exercising and stuff like that. And like, they set me up with like mother programs and stuff like that. So I was able to take advantage of all that stuff, which I thought was really, really cool. And so by April, May-ish, it kind of just subsided. Like, all that fear went away, and I got back to being happy. But when you're on social media, they have this like algorithm thing where if you see an article about a pregnant mother, like, having COVID, or a Black woman passing away, giving birth, like, you start seeing it everywhere. So saw it on my Twitter, saw it on my Instagram, saw it on my Facebook, and I'm like, I just need to get through this pregnancy, like, all of a sudden I started having these whirlwind of emotions, because I just felt like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't know what COVID, consists of. I know that you're supposed to wear a mask, not really infect any other people, and there could be asymptomatic people that can carry it on, and it's the older people and like, the ones with less immune systems and stuff like that can really be affected, and it can really be bad. So that's all I knew, and I didn't want to have any part of that. So I was forever trying to be at the house, just trying to stay out the way. And from that, and I just started, listening to gospel music and just praying real hard and heavy. And that also fueled my desire to want to have an at-home birth. Like, I thought about at-home births ever since I was in high school, and I had like thought about it. I was like, dang, when I have my kid, like I'm gonna do like an at-home water birth and stuff. It's gonna be great. But then being pregnant and figuring out how you're gonna deliver your child during this pandemic, I'm like, oh, I'm really going to do that. So I started looking for people, and it is very pricey. So I spent like a good 2 months, and I got really, really worried because it was getting to like June, and I was like, I really think I might have my child at a hospital. And I got so bummed because I really didn't want to do that. And all of a sudden I found this really, really great, midwifery who administers, they do at-home births and stuff like that. So I was back on the money and I was doing good. It's a lot of up and down emotions that I feel when it comes to being pregnant and preparing to raise my child in this particular climate, because as time went on, COVID was not getting better. Like, lockdowns were still happening. They opened up bars, then they closed bars, had outside dining, then they stopped outside dining. Like, especially being in California, our cases, surged so much, just according to the news and what they say. Yeah, overall, you could just say I felt very fearful. I felt worried, and I felt this sense of unknown come upon me because I didn't know what the next couple of weeks were gonna hold. I didn't know what the next couple months were gonna hold, and I didn't know how this year was gonna play out. And I feel like it will never be the same from how it was back in the day. Like, this has been a complete shift, and something has changed. And since I'm bringing a child into this world, I didn't know what that was going to look like for him. I don't know what school's going to look like for him, like anything like that. And so as the months went by and stuff like that, I didn't really want to do a gender reveal. My family wanted to throw one for me, and I thought that it would be like super fun and stuff like that. So I'm happy that we got to do that, because I feel like in this particular situation that we're in, all that fun shit that goes along with being pregnant just literally went out the window. You just are kind of worried, like you're kind of focused on the fact that it's like, I just want to have my baby, like flat out. And it's such a fucked up feeling. Like, it's so fucked up because it's like, I want to be able to celebrate with everybody. I want to be able to have like a baby shower. I want to be able to like have a maternity shoot. And like, some people are still making those things happen, and all power to them. But I just feel like there's so much more stuff that I have to focus on when it comes to like future, that I just haven't really been in a space to want to do those things, on top of being like tired and fatigued. You could try as hard as you can to do the right thing during this pandemic, and your efforts can still be, shot by one. And that's why I really do urge people to be careful and really do wear your mask and do your part in society, because I actually was diagnosed with COVID. It was very, very sensitive for me, and it was very sensitive for my family. And what we needed to do most was just huddle in and do our part. So that was drinking hot liquids, drinking soups, teas, had Vicks on the chest, Vicks on the feet, whatever remedies that we did when we were sick. We brought all of them out, and we ended up beating it. And when I found out, I cried, because I'm like, I have this, real sensitive, like, human being inside of me who is, relying on me. And I didn't know what that was gonna be like. I didn't know if I was gonna get sicker, because I was actually an asymptomatic carrier. So with that being said, I really honed down, stayed in the house, didn't go anywhere. They said sunlight was good. Luckily, our apartment gets a lot of sunlight, and we had kids in the house at the time, so we all kind of just had to work together to really fight this off. And we did it. We were able to go back to, doing our due, but it also made me look at life real differently. Like when I look outside my window and I see people walking around, I'm like, you could have it. You could have it. I mean, I don't want to put that on anybody, but like being asymptomatic, you don't even know that you have it because you have no symptoms. You don't feel nothing. Like nothing is wrong. So that's why it's important to just do your part and even get tested and be transparent with people that you've been around. Luckily, we weren't around too many people. So, and like the people that we were around had got tested and they were all fine. So thank God for that. But it was a really big wake-up call. So now I'm here. I am 29 weeks. I have 11 more weeks to go. And I am still beyond excited. I'm not gonna let this climate get me down because I feel like throughout my pregnancy, I allowed it to take me on a roller coaster of emotions. And now going through what I've went through throughout my pregnancy, no one is ever really prepared to have a baby, but I'm for damn sure prepared to have my baby the best way possible and the best way that I know how. And I have no one to thank but God for that. Like, I'm so thankful for the support system that I have, and I'm thankful for all the opportunities that I have to even have birth at my house. I'm becoming more comfortable with the fact that this climate's not going to change. It's going to forever be different. There are going to be more rules and more things that's going to come about. But one thing I do know is my child will be homeschooled. I do want my child to be homeschooled, which I know I only have I got 3 years to worry about that, really. But it does start early, like when your baby starts walking and potty training and learning it and talking, like learning ABCs and stuff like that. But we're just gonna continue to gauge how it's gonna go. It's gonna be a bunch of, trial and error, but I do feel more confident in the decisions that I'm making. And I really just cannot wait for our baby Malachi to get here. So yeah, that's Chatting with Coko. Be sure to give me a like and give me some comments, some feedback. Positive vibes only. That's all that I ever want to spread here. And I do have more questions to answer for you guys, so definitely stay tuned for more. It's gonna get really, really exciting, and I really cannot wait for what my future holds, including me holding my baby.